Hi guys, I'm back again today with another reaction video, and today we're reacting to the continuation of Tornado Alley. So this is the part 2 of that. Well, before we do start, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell button to get notified whenever I do upload a video. Anyways guys, let's continue. The light at the back is not on when we do that. Yeah. Okay. It's now 5:33.
You're seeing irritation. You're seeing debris. It's such an overpowering feeling to be eyeball to eyeball with a killer like that. It's coming over the campus buildings. You can feel the power of this
It's
monster.
really coming straight.
And when it came dangerously close, I ducked back into the stairwell and just started to pray.
Are you kidding me? Nobody should be out there. You had two really important facilities close to the tornado path. One was DCH Regional Medical Center. That would be the ultimate disaster if a tornado took out that hospital.
Turn off the...
Our nurse manager stuck her head in the door and said for us to take cover because the news had reported that there had been a tornado spotted on 15th Street coming straight for the hospital. We have this child who's intubated, so we quickly decided that the other nurse would lie over her head and that I would lie over her body on the stretcher and hang on.
Oh my god. Oh.
At this point, we're unaware of how big this tornado was.
Oh my gosh.
And then all of a sudden, there was this huge black cloud just swirling. And I screamed, oh my gosh, there it is.
It literally went to the hospital.
It came so quickly, and it was just so huge. And it was so close. It was almost like you could reach out and just touch it.
Did the camera go off?
It was there, and then it was gone. And the sky was clear again.
5:35.
Looks like the tornado is beyond the range of the Tuscaloosa sky camp, so it's moving away from the city. But again, I would say for about the next maybe 15 minutes, I would stay sheltered until we can come out and assess the day.
Is this the dudes in the car? Yeah. Oh my god.
Probably the biggest obstacle was all the debris. There were whole trees down the road and 2x4s and signs.
Now that I'm watching this, the part 2, remember in part 1 I said it would be better to stay in a car? I don't think so. I think that was a stupid assumption. I don't think that is a good idea.
At that point, I think everything kind of became surreal.
Oh my gosh, look at all the electric posts.
The area we pulled up to, it was about a block and a half away from
It's gone.
where I work and had been just a couple hours before. And it looked like an absolute war zone. There was nothing left except for a few power poles that were broken off. Houses were completely laid out over 30 or 40 feet, but there was nothing structurally left of them. Come on.
Wow, they picked up someone. Oh my gosh, you okay? Oh.
When she said that she could hear people screaming for help, I think that's when we got out and we started trying to help. Hey, we gotta, like there's tons of people. I know.
Oh my gosh. And it's getting late and dark.
As we were in the vehicle, I was getting updates about 2 communication towers being
Look at the
destroyed.
car, it's like upside
About 80%
down.
of the city's heavy equipment was destroyed. 911 being gone. And a fire station being destroyed.
You would have entire houses that were blown off the foundation. You could see trees stripped of their bark. Most of the trees, in many cases, were just completely uprooted and tossed somewhere else. Cars
Look at the car.
tossed around like toys, crumpled up into balls like a piece of paper. A lot of people described it like a bomb went off, only over a long swath.
Damn. It's like
Trees
a
are
dump
blocking
site.
roads. There's no information. Cell service is dismantled. To see
know me
what
and my
that beast did
leg.
to this city was unbelievable.
I saw people just emerging, people with cuts, bleeding,
Oh.
impaled objects. They looked to me almost like zombies.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
sad.
kind of describe it as an unraveling nightmare because we saw the landscape totally changed. It was unrecognizable. I was never really concerned about where I lived because I hadn't heard anything about Alberta or my apartment.
Isaiah, tell us where you are and
Oh,
what you got.
she didn't know.
On 13th Street, I'm standing right here in the parking lot. Those businesses are no more. They have been completely leveled. It's a complete disaster here, James.
There was a Shell gas station on the corner of 13th and McFarland. And everything inside of that gas station had been gutted by the storm, except for the counter.
Oh.
And I remember walking up to a lady.
The rain
she was
outside.
holding on to the counter and she was crying. She says, I rode this storm holding on to this counter. And I'm not letting this go until somebody tells me for sure that thing is gone. And I said, man, the storm's moved on. And during that interview, she let go.
I'm just hoping the neighbors are all right, man. I know they had all those kids over there. You're worried about some of the things that you have, but then that very quickly dissipates and you get to being where you need to go and check on everyone else around you. Come on, come on. Hey, how are y'all? Yeah, we're good. Tuscaloosa's not a very big town, and we all kind of know each other a little bit around here, especially our neighbors. Y'all okay?
I don't know why I'm getting
I need
allergies
to get over here.
again.
We need to go check on these folks. Josh, look out, power line. It's a sketchy situation when you're dealing with high electricity in a disaster area.
I didn't think I would get allergies while watching this, but
That's what I'm saying. We gotta get over here. We have to go check on these people. Hey, are y'all okay? There's trees all up and down here, so I don't know. The neighbors to my left, they had a couple of trees leaned over on the side of their house. And, you know, I was worried. Yeah, there should be people on the way. Children were crying. It was a very stressful situation. You alright?
fell down the stairs. $5.46. Damn. And there's a lot of episodes of this. There is like Alabama, and we have I don't even know the places, but there are different states that this show shows. So if you guys are interested, maybe we'll check some of them out again.
Yeah, there should be people on the way. You alright? The neighbors to my left, the daughter had fallen down the stairs. That was just absolutely heartbreaking. Hey, is it over? The storm? Yeah, the storm's over here. One second. How you guys doing? The storm's gone. That's alright. Hey, you guys want to come up here?
The two little ones are way downstairs
down. I was trying to get down. And that's pretty exciting, huh?
It was kind of a wild situation. You know, there was no power. Children were crying. You just try to do things as calm and take everything one step at a time.
Yeah.
I remember the first one we got to was an elderly lady, and the exterior bathroom wall had fallen over and just basically encased her in the bathtub.
Oh,
and just pushed the wall up and helped her up. And then me and Nate saw a little girl standing on a pile of rubble that used to be her house, and she was just standing there crying for her mom and her sister. We heard the sister first.
Oh
Found
my
her after a few minutes of digging, and we could hear the mom calling. We wound up having to tear a door off of some of the debris and used it as a backboard to carry the mom out to an ambulance that was there.
The first 3 patients that came to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the hospital because they got hit also. Is it okay? Do they have electricity? I think they have generators in the hospitals, but how is the
Came by ambulance.
How is it there?
And we never saw them on the trauma hall because they perished before they actually got into the hospital.
Oh no.
It was very difficult. Because we never saw them on the first 3 patients that came to the hospital came by ambulance, and we never saw them on the trauma hall because they perished before they actually got into the hospital. It was very difficult because of children. Patients came so quickly, and they just continued to come. It's like there was no end. Before you knew it, the whole emergency department was completely filled. People sitting on floors, on countertops. Rooms that were made for 1 patient would have 4 and 5 patients. The hard part is you would have mamas and daddies coming and looking for their children.
Oh, no.
So you had to tell them, I don't know where your child is. And so you have these panicked parents begging you to tell them that their children are okay.
But you don't know.
And you can't.
Allergies.
Thank you so much. He's terrified. I'm sorry.
We didn't have some of the basic utilities that we needed to get by. Makes an uncomfortable situation, and the only answer is to try to keep your calm.
He's okay. I just grabbed him as quick as I could. That's cool. He's not bleeding or anything. He seems alright. Okay, calm down, bud. We got her out, okay?
No way. Oh, okay.
Okay, calm down, bud. We got her out, okay? She may have a concussion, but we got her out.
I spent about an hour or 2 getting them set up in an uncomfortable position and waiting for the ambulance to show up. Unfortunately, that little girl who had fallen down the stairs ended up developing some bad pneumonia from that night and passed away.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting to see like a documentary of the tornado, but not to this depth. Like people getting hurt and death. I didn't expect it to go to that extent. I just thought we're gonna see the like, what am I even saying? We're just gonna see it, and that was it. Oh, this is scary.
There's been a massive destruction here in the Tuscaloosa area, and all along the way we've seen scores of buildings that have been leveled.
I think it really hit me the next morning that the night video, you just don't
Look
know
at how it
that
went
first light
like
of day
this.
chopper.
Like you can see greenery on the sides, but on this like vertical lane, it was all brown, and then we have green, brown, and then green. So
video
crazy.
was just horrifying.
Looked like it intensified just as it came into Tuscaloosa.
Didn't recognize anything. It could have been any place in the world. I wouldn't know what that was. Even though I've been doing this for 36 years and I've worked through many tornado outbreaks, this was the big one for me.
This is certainly one of the worst tornadoes that I've ever seen.
There's this van woke up to sunny weather. It was just very odd because we had just been through such a monster of a storm.
Yeah, it's so sunny
As a
now.
fire station, we immediately started seeing damage, and one of the first real places that we saw was a fire station.
Oh,
this used to be the church. I looked up and I saw just this gaping hole inside this church. And every day they had this sign that was like inspirational. There was a chandelier.
The crazy part is, knock on wood, if this ever happens here, the damage is gonna be so bad because our structures are not as strong. I'm not sure, but you guys use a lot of wood in your housing, so. But then we use, I don't know, but our, like, the foundation of our establishments are not as strong as Western world. We have poor engineering, so I'm not sure that structures here will survive.
Chandelier that was still there. It was just this sad little church that used to be so grand and beautiful, and it was just crumbling. That was a scene that I will never forget.
How about her place? Is it okay? I bet not.
You would hear someone screaming a name and just looking to see if they could find their loved one.
Oh my.
There was one gentleman who just instantly fell to his knees and just started to pray.
Why?
It turned out later that he was supposed to be inside that building. That building was a restaurant, and it just so happened it was his day off.
I did see some people who
If it's your
were pulled
time.
out that didn't make it. And there were also some people that we felt like we could hear calling for help, and we dig down and we can't find them.
There was this young college boy who came in, and he had some really significant chest trauma and head trauma. He reminded me of my son, and I felt like I wanted to be the one to take care of him.
Aww.
All I could think of was, here's this young man who did absolutely nothing wrong, but he's gonna die. And I knew he was gonna die. And it just broke my heart.
I can't work in
Number of college students from the University of Alabama live down there. I actually talked with one. She told me that she was in her bathroom when that tornado came through. She says only the bathroom was left standing in their house, and thankfully, as we were out there,
oh my god,
there was a woman who said the storm blew her newborn baby out of her arms. Somebody heard a cry in the rubble, and she was determined that was her baby. We were all out there, we were digging and moving the bricks with her. But then our hearts dropped when we got to the source of the cry, and it was some kid's doll that had a crying mechanism in it. I don't believe to this day they ever found that child.
Oh, it's a baby. It's not.
Major gas leak on 359 here at 9th We're in bad shape at 6th Avenue East and 15th Street.
The energy level seems to be pretty low today. You can tell fatigue is starting to set in with some of these people who have lost everything. A few people, now we're doing stories about people who are still missing. And I did the story of little Michaela Edwards. She was a sweet, precious little 4-year-old girl. And she's with some of her family huddled, trying to hold on to some plumbing to protect themselves from the storm. Edwards says the rest of his family survived by hovering in a bathtub. And all of a sudden, 2 of her family members are okay, but they can't find little Michaela. Family and friends searched this area around the clock.
We went to the VA hospital, and where they was, bringing bodies in from the tragedy that happened. And she was there. She was there, and she was gone.
Having to report that after holding out some hope that she may be found alive.
Oh my god.
I was really sad.
The thing is, kids can't help themselves. And that's why we hear a lot of news, especially in these circumstances, a lot about children, because they can't help themselves. Like the adults, obviously, they can hold on to something stronger, like their grips are harder and stronger. But kids is just, they're vulnerable, they're weaker. So if there's nobody holding them or protecting them, then I don't know. Oh my gosh.
I wonder how far we're gonna have.
I feel like the mom was like, there's no point. So she gave up. I feel like maybe she heard the news and she's like, I'm gonna look for my daughter. I'm gonna protect my daughter in the afterlife, but not in this world because she's gone. I don't know, but that's what I feel like.
In order to get to an area where cars can actually travel. I don't know what the hell.
Is this Brad? I think his name is. Yeah, Brad.
We had no idea of knowing how bad the damage was. We just knew that we had gotten hit in our area. We ran out of supplies and we decided to go up to University Boulevard, and there weren't houses anymore.
I think it was worse in the university.
Everything was gone.
Part.
That was the biggest shock. We didn't get hit directly, anywhere near as hard as I thought that we did.
Yeah, the problem is like supplies.
This was the office.
Oh.
As we had gotten closer and closer to my apartment, we saw.
And she has to walk because the cars can't even pass anywhere. Or I don't know, maybe cars are even broken too.
A building standing there. Oh my god.
Her apartment is still there. Oh wow.
I just kept thinking, I am so lucky. I'm gonna be able to get my things. I mean, we were celebrating.
No, that's the bottom.
What?
Oh my god. Wow. We were not actually seeing my apartment. What we were seeing was my downstairs neighbor's apartment, and I was on the top floor, and the top floor was completely gone.
Oh.
It was just from on top of the world to it's worse than I ever thought.
Oh.
I don't know what to do. For a while, I kind of bumbled around in the debris. Kitchen. Stuff was just everywhere.
I mean, it's good she wasn't there.
It was just devastating. I kept looking through the rubble. Oh my gosh, my grandma's pearls. Oh my god. And at one point, we find my grandma's pearls that she had gotten me. Wow. They're all your jewelry there? Not all of it, but there's some. And so that was a moment that gave me a lot of hope. Like, I could move on from this because I was getting little pieces of my life back.
The tornado was down for about 80 miles. It's approximately at the widest point 1 mile. The maximum wind velocity was about 180 to 190 miles an hour. The death toll in my state that day was over 250, and that is absolutely inexcusable. I've got to take the energy I have and work on preventing this from happening again.
You can be a part of a process that can deliver information that's potentially life-saving, but we had one of the highest death counts ever. So it was one of those days that I don't think I'll ever totally forget.
I worked as hard as I could work. I still have patients die. You feel like I didn't do enough. I could have done something else. And that's tough.
The president and first lady offered hugs and handshakes to members of a community that has suffered the ultimate loss.
I've got to say, I've never seen devastation like this. It is heartbreaking.
I remember he would keep saying, Walt, I've never seen destruction like this. But I said, Mr. President, you've never seen people fight back like this. Here in Tuscaloosa, it was the people that came to the rescue, and it made me so proud to say that Tuscaloosa is my home.
I was blessed that no one in my family was harmed. I realized that life is so precious. It really changed my outlook on life.
Since the tornado, I have become a firefighter.
Oh, wow.
Being able to give back to my community in the weeks after the storm. Gave me a direction for what I wanted to do for my life.
When all the comforts of normal life are stripped away, you will see a beauty in people like you've never seen before.
Why can't we have this always though? Do we have to? Maybe that's why the world falls apart once in a blue moon or often, is because we don't have this. We don't have this camaraderie towards one another, and this is kind of like God's way of reminding us that, hey, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing. The bond between human is more important than your car, your phone, your laptop, your house, your whatever, your $1 million or your $1. Maybe this is a reminder, not just to punish, but to remind us that, hey, human beings, wake up. Maybe that's why we're in this pandemic as well. Just maybe.
You'll see that person who has almost nothing give everything they have to help someone else.
We
and
should,
no
always.
matter how bleak the situation may be, there's always hope.
That was crazy. Damn. I didn't know what I was doing during those times. Like, honestly, I didn't know. I don't know. 2017 April? No, I have no idea. But I want to watch more as well. It's crazy. It's eye-opening and very sad and informative at the same time. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you remember where you are during those time frames, if you heard about it, or if you lived near Tuscaloosa. I love that name though. But anyways, let me know what you think. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, leave in the comment section down below what other videos like to react to. The original link of this video will be in the description box down below, so it's my social media links. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.